Hey guys. Hey entrepreneurs. How are you? Hey Yvonne. How's it going? This is Christine Pereira. Let me just set up my my iPad. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey Ronnie. Hey guys. Thanks for joining. This is Christine from Soulful Selling. If you can tap the screen and hey. Hey, and Katya, I've been meaning to get on. My last couple days have been so busy, but I absolutely want to do the share-a-thon today or tomorrow. My days have just been super busy the last couple days. So thank you guys for joining. This is Christine Pereira. I'm from Soulful Selling Bootcamp, and I talk about how to do authentic sales. So I'm happy to answer questions, and I did have a topic for today. Hey, thanks for joining. And let me know where you guys are from. Oh, tomorrow's inspiration. Awesome. Great topic. So I'll definitely do that. Yes, Perry 10K is awesome. I am a new member, and I would love to talk about it more tomorrow because I have to get all my the details correct. But thank you guys for joining, and thank you for the hearts. So today I wanted to talk about how to define yourself and why that is so important. And you know, I really learned this. The first person who pointed this out to me was when I worked at AOL, and Tim Armstrong was the CEO. And AOL is, you know, a company that a lot of people remember for selling or sending out all the free CDs and having dial-up. But AOL is still a very big company. Now they were just most recently bought by Verizon, actually. But it was really interesting because it was a time when AOL was going through a big transition. You know, a lot of people didn't think it was relevant anymore. And one thing that Tim Armstrong would say is that you have to define yourself before your competition or someone else defines you. And I think that's so important, right? Because most of us, if we're out there selling something, have some competitors, right? And it's so important that you know your message and that you define it and that you talk about it and that you make it really clear, because if you don't, someone else is going to. And I think that's such a good lesson, and that applies to corporate America, it applies to entrepreneurs, it applies to small businesses, right? Because you're always going to have competition, and even if you're not worried about your competition, hey Yvonne, you know, your competitors may be watching you. So that's something to think about. You know, you might not think like, oh, I'm not worried about competition, but if your competition is out there talking about you and defining you, you have to make sure that your message is strong. So this comes into play, like if you're not marketing yourself, if you're not talking about your company out in the marketplace, you know, you want to make sure that you're out there saying something, right? There's some companies who think, well, I'm not going to spend any money on marketing. We're doing great. We have tons of customers, or I'm not going to promote our company on social media. You know, there's a lot of people why people don't do marketing or think about sales. And even if you're not doing paid marketing, you're still usually talking about yourself on social media. But I do think it's really important to consistently be talking about who you are and what your message is, because you're the only person who can define that. Hi, Lisa Long. Thanks for joining. We're talking about how you need to define yourself in business. So, like I was saying, I think it's really important to define yourself because you're the only person who knows your message. And I always say, you know, sales is about a couple things. It's about confidence in yourself. It's about trust, building trust with your potential clients. And it's about the sales process. Hey, Periscope. Thanks for joining. And, you know, the sales process is a lot of the nitty gritty about sales. It's about making sure you have a very clear message, that it stands out from the crowd, making sure you talk about the benefits to your clients, not the benefits to you, or not about your features, right? It's really about how this is going to help someone else, right? So I could say, oh yeah, Soulful Selling is about, you know, these classes that we offer online and, you know, learning about sales. But that really, like, everyone's like, well, like, why do I care? Tell me what it means to me. What it means to you is that I can teach you how to sell without fear, without, you know, feeling scared, without feeling sleazy. A lot of people have a very bad feeling about sales. And a lot of people try to hide from that. Like, I, for years, used to talk about, like, I was embarrassed to tell people I worked in sales, and I'm really good at it. And I don't sell it in a sleazy way at all. I try to be very authentic and transparent. But for some reason, I even myself had a hang up, and I had done sales for 15 years, and I would think, oh, I don't want to mention I work in sales. People are going to think, you know, I'm really pushy, or that, you know, I'm going to try to sell to them right now, even though I sold advertising. And it was very unusual that I was going to, you know, go and talk to someone like in a social situation about that. But even like me, who has worked in sales for so long, you know, people just have a hang up about sales sometimes. And but there are good ways to sell. You can sell being authentic. You can sell being transparent. You can sell if you are an introvert. You can sell, you know, if you know, even never even meeting people in person, although I don't really recommend that, but it can be done if that's your style and that's where you feel most comfortable. So soulful selling really is all about selling, you know, the way that you truly are and finding your own sales style. And I always say, if you don't know what your sales style is, there are a million tests online that will tell you, and little surveys that you can take if you Google like sales style. There's like so much information out there. But I've taken some of those tests and they're really interesting. But I always say, if you don't want to even take those tests, just talk about who are you as a person. Are you a kind person? Are you a generous person? I was just talking to my friend Yvonne, who's one of the best sales people I know, and she works in dentistry. And the reason she's such a great salesperson is because she is like an honest, generous, giving person. And she realizes that when she's helping someone in dentistry, whatever it is, if she's cleaning their teeth or doing something else, that she's providing value to them and it's helping them. And I think that that's where we have to come from, that place of selling, right? Where we are providing value to someone. Hey, oh, thank you. Yeah, and I would love to hear any feedback or any questions you guys have about sales. If you guys work in a specific area and you've joined because you want to learn more about sales, tell me what industry you're in. I would love to hear. And I would love to hear what your experience is in sales. But yeah, I think, you know, coming from that place of giving and what you can share with someone else and how you can provide value is a great place to start. So when you come with that mentality, oh, you're welcome. Thank you, lunchpreneurs. So I think, yeah, when you come from a place where you're giving and you're a generous, you know, person, or you're just being yourself and you're not trying to hard sell anyone, or you're not trying to, you know, force someone to sell, that is the best place. And really that's where you should come from in all places when you're doing business with someone, right? It should be from an authentic place where you're trying to. Thank you guys, that's so awesome. When you can do that, I think it's really, really helpful. So again, I was just talking about defining yourself, and this is Christine from Soulful Selling Bootcamp. I think it's so important to get out there and consistently talk about your message, because if you don't, there is a risk that somebody else might be talking about you and defining your message. Someone might saying, well, I know what this product is, or I know what this person is, we do it better, and this person does this. And no one knows your product, and no one knows you as well as you, right? Like no one knows a product or service. Even if you're selling technology, you're selling, you know, cell phone covers, whatever it is, part of the sale is you, right? People buy from someone that they know and that they like. So if you have built up a relationship, no matter what your product is, part of the sale that you're making is you personally, right? Someone's buying from you. So there's a million people selling cell phone covers out there. If you are the one that someone connects with and you built a relationship with someone, someone is buying it because of you. And I think we all realize that, right? There's a very personal part of sales. And I was in a class yesterday, which was great, where they were talking about, there's this great book called Show Your Work. And it's about kind of getting out there and talking about yourself. And it's this whole concept of, you know, sharing your work with people. And they were saying, you know, not to make it personal, which I thought, like, that's so wrong. They were saying, only talk about work. Don't talk about your personal life. Don't talk about your pets. Don't talk about your kids. Don't talk about your interests. And I have to say, like, I like this book, and I love this class that I'm taking with Allison Crowe, who's an amazing coach. But I don't like that philosophy, and I don't think that I don't think it's current either. I don't know when that book was written. I think it was written probably more than 5 years ago. But I think with the advent of social media and the ability to share, the only way that you can really build trust with people is by sharing, like, your personality and your you know, like the personal things about you that make you who you are. When I used to do huge PowerPoint presentations to guys like Microsoft or to, you know, Facebook, on my screen on my computer, I would have a huge picture of my kids, because that's what made it real for me, right? And I noticed other people would do that. I'd be like, oh, I mean, like, we would start an amazing conversation, like, how old are your kids? Like, what are they in school yet? Like, what do you think about this? What are you dealing with right now in, like, the kid arena? And it would start this whole personal conversation, because it would just make something personal and it would help build that relationship. And so that's why I think it's so important. And you should share those personal things, whether you have amazing pets at home, or you have an amazing interest in skydiving, or if you have adorable kids at home, like, you can share that information. Oh, thanks, Lisa. Have a great run. You know, share that information, because that's what makes you who you are. And we are all so unique. And even if you have the same exact degree as someone, or the same exact experience, or the same exact credentials, you are who you are, and you are 100% unique because of the experiences and the life that you have lived. So share that, getting to know your audience. Exactly. Like, what better way to do that than sharing things about yourself and what you love, right? So that's always what my tips are. So I'd love to hear what like fields you guys are in. I know there's only a couple people online, but I'd love to hear what kind of sales that you guys do, or what you're interested in. Oh, and I also want to give you a quick promo for my free webinar that's on this Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I am doing 5 strategies for soulful selling, totally free. You can go to my website, soulfulsellingbootcamp.com/webinar. Yes, we know yours. And you can sign up, and I'm just doing a free 1-hour webinar on Friday at 11 a.m. and it's about soulful selling techniques, how to, you know, build confidence, how to build trust, how to sell from a place of authenticity. So it's a completely free webinar. You can sign up online, or if you go to soulfulsellingbootcamp.com and sign up for my email newsletter, you'll also get a message about it. Or you can visit me on Facebook as well at Soulful Selling Bootcamp, and you'll see information there. So yeah, I mean, what do you think like for entrepreneurs? Like, how are you guys controlling your message? Like, how do you go out and market it? I think I found it because I started researching. I saw a lot of great people who were in Perry 10K, and I loved their messages. I thought they were talking about great quality content, but I'm curious how you guys promote it and how you control your message. Because I know that there's like a private Facebook group, but I'd be curious to know that from you guys, how you're controlling the message and the marketing. You don't market it. So how the members do. So that's a great way to do it, because yeah, you have great members. I've seen some of the really quality topics that they talk about. People are very excited. And you know, Perry 10K is great because it's all about supporting other people on Periscope, which is so important. So I love that aspect of it. It's about sharing, and it's about people who are trying to do good in the world. Correct me if I'm wrong. I have a mission, vision, and they promote it without me even asking. Yes, so that's how you know you have a great business, right? That people are promoting it without you even asking. And I think the core, and correct me if I'm wrong, of Perry 10K is it's all about showing support to other people and sharing that. And I think that is, you know, just even having a business with that mission, you're coming from such a the vision is what does it, yeah. You know, coming from that place where you're already like the idea and the vision is to share it, is coming from such a great place that people naturally want to share that with other people. Yes, showing up for others. Right, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's so important. And just having a business where that's like integrated into the vision of the business is so amazing. So I'm so excited for tomorrow because the topic is inspiration. And there is a share-a-thon. What are the hours again? Katya, if you want to share that with people, because I love the idea of the share-a-thon. There's a lot of people talking about this topic, and I think it's from like 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's great. If you see Perry 10K in the hashtag, they're talking about a daily topic in most cases, and tomorrow's inspiration. So it should, 4 to 6 Eastern. So that is 1 to 3 Pacific. Yeah, right. Okay, so I was right. Yeah, so 1 to 3 Pacific, which is great because then you get East Coast people, West Coast people, you get Europe, you can get, you know, a little bit of everything. So that's a great time to be doing that. So I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm going to think in depth about selling and inspiration, because that does come into play so often. You know, to be inspired, like there's definitely days when people don't feel inspired. So I'd be curious. There's some great people I know, like Susie Moore is a great person who talks about, if you follow her, she talks about confidence and inspiration, and she talks about how she really actively works on inspiration in her daily life and motivating herself. So I think that's so cool. She's kind of like a student of inspiration and confidence. So I love her. She's a friend and someone who's also on Periscope and does some great online programs, so you can check her out as well. But I'm going to sign off now. I actually have a blab too today. So at 1:30 Pacific, I'm going to be talking to Kara Mia, and she has a blog called My Girlfriend Voice. And we're going to be talking about confidence and how to find your inner voice. And how that makes you more confident. So we're going to be on Blab today, so you can follow Soulful Selling on Blab. Sorry, I'm promoting a lot of different stuff today. Buy love, yeah. So we're going to be on Blab today at 1:30. So I'd love if you join me. We're going to be doing, a quick blab on that, just about her, and then also doing just some office hours on Soulful Selling. So if people have questions and want to be coached. Yeah. Oh, no worries. We are share-a-thoning. Yes, I know that's a time. And so it's going to be a quick, like half an hour blab, but I'll join the share-a-thon right after that. So great. Thank you guys for joining. Again, I'm Christine Pereira, soulfulsellingbootcamp.com. Love to have you join us on Friday for our free webinar at 11:30, or at 11, or join us on Blab later today. So thanks for joining. Have a great day.